Who quits the job to start something new? My name is Jamila Hassan and I make bold moves.
Wait, Jammy. Today we are in for a good episode. Welcome to Corporate Chronicles Between Suits.
And chaos.
Jammy, hey, how are you? First of all, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
How does turning that age? Am I supposed to say the age?
Yeah, I can say it. I'm happy to be 40.
How does it feel?
It actually feels great.
Mm.
I know people say like age is nothing but a number, but it is a number and I'm proud of it. Because I have so much experience over the years that I'm proud of. And yeah, I'm happy where I am and where I want to go and all the things I still want to see. So yeah, I'm happy about my age.
But Jammy, at 40, you woke up and said, I quit. F this, I quit. Like, how did you even make that move? Because in corporate there's so many people who are stuck in a rut and they don't know what to do, but you've quit thrice. Maybe tell us.
Yeah, so like I think like all my jobs I've quit because at the end of the day, like you look at your life and you wonder like where you're going, what is the purpose of your life. And for me, serving my purpose is so important. Like what even like in terms of relationships, friendship, all that, it has to serve a purpose. Like where am I going with this? So that's a question I always ask myself. Am I gonna be just stuck where I am and just not grow? Or is this job or friendship going to serve a purpose in me growing to become a better person, to become better at what I do? So if it's not serving a purpose, there's no point in dwelling and sitting and thinking and but then you're still not happy or like, like you're just there stagnant. For me, if there's no growth, there's no purpose, I don't I don't dwell. I just leave for a better, bigger purpose.
Wait, but Jamila, man, um for me, I have never woken up and left a job. Like, how did you get there? Yes, you've told us about purpose. Had you planned it? Did you just wake up one day and say, I'm gonna leave? Is it something you've toyed with? I mean, how did it happen?
So for me, I evaluate my goals all the time because like every year we all do resolutions and we have goals, we have ambitions growing up, right?
Mm.
Like this is where I want to be in the next 10 years. It's something we all think about. So after a few months or even after a few years, I
Mm.
always sit and think, okay, my goal was XYZ.
Mhm.
It's been 4 years. Have I achieved even one
Mm.
of it? You know,
Mm.
or have I achieved? Okay, not even one. One is like, okay, at least we achieve one.
Mm.
But like, if it's just two or just three, it doesn't make sense to me to stay just because it's a job or just because it's friendship or
Mm.
something. Like with a I mean like with even the jobs, like you think, okay, I want to do XYZ. Like even like in terms of like just your personal goals,
Mhm.
you're like, okay, I wanna go back, I wanna do a course. But then your job does the salary doesn't serve you that
Oh
purpose.
my God,
Like you
yes.
can't even afford it,
Mm.
let alone like even taking a course. Like you can't afford upgrading anything
Mm.
because the salary when it enters it's gone because
Mm.
of bills,
Mm.
you know
Mm.
so how is that serving your purpose? How is it serving your life?
Mm.
You can't even do anything, you can't even travel, you can't even, like you want to upgrade your house or like even just yourself, you want to buy good things for yourself, but you can't afford it because your salary is so little and life is getting I mean like even like life is getting tougher,
Yeah,
you
life
know
is
the
tough.
economy is getting worse.
Yeah.
Everything is taxed.
Mm.
So you're like, okay, so I'll stay here because it's a job and because I have to be here, but you can't afford anything. You're literally Like once you pay your rent and like bills for the house, that's it. Like you're done. You don't have anything else. Like you can't even afford to save.
Mm.
So is that serving you a purpose as a human being?
Mhm.
You know,
Mm.
you can't maybe even take your family out. Like you can't afford that.
Yeah.
So how is that serving you a purpose in
Mm.
life? You can't take care of your kids,
Mm.
paying rent, even not paying rent, like paying school fees. You're paying in installments.
Yeah.
You know, just because it's a salary. So I have to be thankful that it's a salary.
Mm.
It's not serving you. Like why are you staying? You know?
To me, that is a very bold move. Like, wow. Yeah, I mean, I understand. First of all, let's not even talk about how sometimes education is so expensive. And I was telling you today that I went to a certain institution to negotiate and ask them, can I tip a pole pole for a certain course? Because I really, really want to do it,
Yeah. Hmm.
So for you, it was more of, first of all, your purpose. What I'm getting is not equivalent
Yeah.
to how I want to live.
Yeah.
And when I look at you, Jamie, you are a creative and you have done amazing things. So did you just quit and say, I'm gonna look for another place? Or are you quitting because you feel like you're serving a purpose in your creative space?
Yeah, definitely. I know I'm a creative. I ran the blog Life in Mombasa for over 7 years.
Mhm.
I sold it last year, but I still do content. And then I feel like also my purpose is to help women build their businesses. That is something so I'm so passionate about. I feel like a lot of women, especially like when it comes to marketing their products,
Mm.
it's they don't know how to,
Mhm.
and because you'll find a lot of women close shop in 2 years because it's not helping them because
Yeah.
they don't know how to market themselves.
Mm.
And you know, us women, we are kind of people who like to humble ourselves.
Mm.
Like we're not, oh, I don't want to shout about it, or I don't want to put my face there,
Mm.
or like, okay, when you go somewhere, you feel shy talking about your business. Like, oh, people are doing great things. Me, I just
Mm.
have this small business. I won't talk about it. You
Mm.
know, like a lot of women think like that.
Mm.
But I think when you have that confidence, you'll be able to talk about it. And if your business is good, you
Mm.
won't feel afraid to talk about it.
Mm.
And that's one of my purpose I want to do is help small women in
Small businesses
business
owned
owned
by
by women,
women.
yeah,
Yeah.
so that they can build their social media, especially social media. Because I
Mm.
do food and product photography,
Mm.
and that's a lot of women have those businesses. You know,
Mm.
people who do at home. So a lot of people don't know how to do content, caption, like all those things are so important when you're building a brand on social media. So that's one of my purpose I want to do is be able to help these women
Mm.
build a brand
Mm.
that is relatable, that people will want to buy, you
Mm.
know, because that's the most important. People actually buying
Mm.
from you
Mhm.
and not because you could be on social media, but nobody's buying.
Yeah.
So it's how you put your content out there makes a
Mm.
difference of how people would relate and they'll actually want to buy and tell you, hey, give me this, you know, 3 pieces, 4 pieces.
Mm. And the way you're saying that women, um, we downplay. You remember last week when we went for dinner, and we were a few people, a few girls, and like two of our girls had gotten a job.
Yeah.
You had made a bold move. The other one had gotten a
Mm.
promotion. The other one had gotten a contract. And when it came to me, I felt like it's just a podcast. I felt like it's something very, very small.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, I don't think it is that small.
It's not small. It is, I mean, putting together a podcast, it's not easy.
It's not. It's
And you
my
know that.
goodness.
I mean, like, you know, so and also like putting yourself out there, it's not easy as well, you know.
It is not easy at all. So basically, it's just about purpose. What you're telling us here is just about purpose.
Mhm.
Like you have woken up 3 times and said, I am not going to do this, trying to look for your purpose.
Yeah.
And your life starts at 40
That's
because where?
awesome.
And I'm also thinking, the way we were brought up, our parents, like I feel like the generation of our parents feel like you have to you cannot quit a job just like that.
Yeah, you have to have a backup or something. Yeah. And I think, and also okay, for me, I think, and also for having a purpose, for me, it is something that I've done since I was young. I think it's, I mean, I, as much as like I'm an empath,
Mm-hmm.
I think about people and other stuff, but I also think about myself,
Mm-hmm.
like where I want to go. Because I remember, since like primary, I was doing IGCSE,
Mm-hmm.
and then I told my dad I don't want to do IGCSE. I left. I want to do it for system,
Mm.
and I did
But
that.
why? Why?
I don't know. I just felt like what is IGCSE purpose for me? That's the
Mm.
same thing. Like
Mm.
fine, unless I don't know. At that time, I didn't think about I'll go outside to study. So I was like, okay, I'm doing IGCSE for what reason? Like, am I going
Mm.
to study outside?
Mm.
And at that time, I was like, no, I'm gonna study in Kenya. So I need to focus on the 844 system so that when I'm ready to go to university, I have the Kenyan system.
Mm.
Because IGCSE, unless I want to go outside, which well, I ended up going outside, but at that time I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I just want to do the 844 system. And then in university, so like then I ended up going to USA
Mm.
for university.
Mm-hmm.
And also there I did 2 years of psychology. Then I realized it wasn't for me. Again, it was not serving me a purpose. So I was like, okay, I don't want to do like what is psychology? Then what?
Mm.
And then at that time people were like, oh, to practice properly and make money, you have to go all the way to PhD. And I was
Mm.
like, me, I'm not gonna go to PhD. There's no way. So I decided
Maybe
to
I'm
change.
doing my final year of my PhD studies.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's been 9 years, I think 8. But yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, I would. Well, I haven't even done my masters.
no, it's okay. You're gonna do
So
it.
yeah, and I mean that's one of the things like now I'm thinking about is doing my masters. So yeah, and then I did 2 years of psychology. Yeah, then I did communication. I graduated. I came back to Kenya. I worked for 4 years in a bank, and also then well, for that one I had an incident where I yelled at my colleague,
Mm.
like on top of my voice.
Mm.
And that is not me. It wasn't something I would do. So I
Yeah.
sat and I was like, wait, what just happened?
Jamie, don't even talk
I
loudly.
don't even talk like, I mean, I'm not like, I think I'm an introverted, extroverted. Like sometimes when it's a big crowd, me, I just go
Are
quiet.
they
I
called
can't talk.
ambiverts? I think that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ambivert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So for me, like to yell on top of my voice, I was like, what just happened? So then um I went and said, and I'm like, well, here I am. It's so much happening. At that time, I had started a digital marketing agency
Mm.
as well. So I was like, you know what? Let me just live here and do my business. And also, that's the time I had started my blog,
Mm.
2015. So also that one, I wrote a resignation and I left and did my business.
Mm.
So yeah, and then my other job as well, like things were not going well. I knew I was gonna get fired, so I wrote in a resignation before they fired me.
Mm-hmm.
So I think now also I just felt like, I mean, I evaluated my life the past 5 years, and I was, apart from like growing life in Mombasa and taking it to the highest level, and then just them being done and selling it. A certain evaluate apart from life in Mombasa, which is great. Um, what have I
Maybe
achieved?
for those who are wondering what Life in Mombasa is, Life in Mombasa was Jamila's blog.
Yes.
That was very, very huge.
Yeah. I was showcasing Mombasa through photography and written articles. So I was interviewed by CNN and all other media outlets. I think I was at peak at 2017 and 18 Apple.
Mm.
That's when about 16, 17, 18 Apple. Yeah, so I think last I sold it last year to a digital marketing agency. So yeah, so after that, that's when I said, and I was like, okay, apart from the blog, what else have I achieved? And then also I had like so many goals. Like I wanted to travel a lot and see the
Mm.
world,
Mm.
and also make a huge impact on people's lives.
Mhm.
But I felt like, yes, I was making impacts, and but I wasn't able to travel because I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
I made other bold moves that I'm proud of,
Mm.
but still, I just felt like I was settling
Mm-hmm.
for a lot.
Yeah.
And also, I was downplaying myself. Like,
Mm.
I had a lot of advantages, but also I had so much knowledge and
Mm.
experiences,
Mm.
and I wasn't utilizing it
Mm.
to the maximum.
Yeah.
I was scared, or like I'll try something, and then, also target audience is important,
Very.
right?
Very.
And I would feel like, okay, maybe this is what they want, and then I'll try, and then it's clearly not what they want. So I would feel like, okay, maybe I'm a failure, or I don't know what I'm doing, because
Mm.
how come it's not working out?
Jammy, you've been
And
interviewed by CNN, you've been interviewed by all these big
yeah,
people, and you're feeling like, I think also imposter syndrome got the better
yeah,
part of you.
I mean, I know imposter syndrome got the best of me
Mm.
for so long. I always think I'm like, I'm not good. Like, even like, okay, for a long time, um, like, for example, when I started doing food photography and products, like,
Mhm.
my pictures were good and stuff, but like when I pitch to people, people will say no, no.
Mm.
It's not because um they they don't want; it's
Mhm.
because they don't know.
Yeah.
And then also because they don't have the money,
Mm.
or they don't see the value in paying.
Mm.
So, but I'll compare, like, and then I'll see like other people getting clients, and I'm like, maybe I'm not good enough.
What?
Yeah. So I'm like, maybe I'm not good enough. And then I start comparing my photos to their photos.
But your photos
And
are
then I
so
was like,
bomb.
I'm not, maybe I just, like, I shouldn't do this. I
Mm.
remember, like, there's a time, like, I even had a logo and everything. I closed down everything because I felt like I was not good enough. And I just, so, and then after a while, the things, and that's the thing, I always evaluate myself,
Mm.
evaluate everything, like what's going on.
Mm.
And then I, like, one of the, of course, they say comparison is the joy, the, what is it called?
The thief of,
Fear of, or takes out the joy.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, something like
yeah.
that. Yeah. So I was like, comparison is the thief of
Mm.
joy. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stop comparing myself. I know I'm good, and that's what I want to stick to. And I'm
Yeah.
not gonna compare myself with other people.
Mm.
And if other people are hired by someone I pitched, that's okay.
Yes.
That's their decision, and
Mm.
that's okay.
Mm.
And it's a big world. There's enough money to go around for everyone.
Mm.
So yeah, and I continued, just then I rebranded, and then I rebranded again last year,
Mhm.
because I felt like I didn't, okay, I was doing everything. I was doing restaurants, I was doing products. So I said I'm gonna concentrate on product and food,
Mm.
but my target audience is gonna be women. You know.
Mm.
Yeah, so, and then also do trainings, because I felt like, especially in Kenya,
Mm.
there's so many organizations doing training for entrepreneurs, how to do business, finances.
Yeah.
Okay, they're taught marketing,
Mm.
but you'll find like most of the teaching is so basic,
Mm.
you know. And the number one free platform that there is social media:
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, Twitter,
Mm.
and LinkedIn,
Mhm.
and TikTok now.
Mm.
But people are not utilizing those platforms to market their business
As they
as they
should.
should.
Yeah.
Yeah. They put mediocre work.
Mm.
They just post because I have to post.
Mm.
They don't think about it, you
Mhm.
know. And I feel like I want to tap into that,
Ah, okay. Mm.
help them achieve goals.
Mm.
Also, that's one of the things. Yes, you're taught all the things, but also, like, you have to have goals of your own.
Mm.
Like, you have to understand, like, where do you want to go. For example, if, and also, like, which it's together with social media. For example, you can say, like, this month I want to do 30,000 sales,
Yeah.
for example.
Mm.
Sawa, you're gonna market, but how are you marketing to get that number?
Yeah.
you know so, for example, say, okay, in this week I want to make sure I make at least 8,000 sales, for example.
Yeah.
So it accumulates to, like, at the end of the month as 30,
Yeah.
give and take, or
Yeah.
say, let's say, yeah, 8,000. So, okay, so I need to post every day,
Mhm.
and then what am I posting?
Mm.
Is it going to attract the customers?
Yeah.
And then, is my caption detailed that
Mm.
people don't have to DM all the time,
Yeah.
because that's also wastes time. You're
Mm.
answering instead of creating content.
Mm.
Also creating content. How are you creating that content
Mm.
that is attractive?
Mhm. Mm.
Like you just take a photo, like you've not thought about the background and all that.
Mm.
Like it's not appealing.
Mm.
How many people will look at it?
Yeah.
You know?
Mm.
So you have to be intentional about your content.
Yeah.
And that's something I want to help women understand,
Mhm.
like you have to be intentional about your marketing on
Mm.
social media.
Mm.
You can't just wake up today and say, I'm just going to take this video,
Mm.
whatever, say, as long as I've posted.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. How many, like yourself, when you look at Instagram, when you're scrolling, how many businesses do you see? So
Many.
many.
Yeah.
And
Many.
what catches your eye is a good content,
Yeah. Yeah.
and even for you to share, it has to be a meaningful content.
Yes.
So I feel like that's what I want to tap into as well,
Mm.
is making sure women are intentional about their social media.
Mm.
And I want to do so mainly do consulting and helping these women find that voice for their
Mm.
brand.
Mm. So, I mean, I think you know what you want to do. But, Jamie, I didn't know you struggled with imposter syndrome that much.
Yeah, it was for me. Oh my God. I think, um, and I've talked about it on social media a lot. Imposter
Mm.
syndrome always gets to me, even after, like even at work. Imposter
Mm.
syndrome gets to me because I don't fight for like more recognition. I'll do things behind the scene. I'm like, it's okay, I'll just do behind the scene. I don't want to be
Yeah.
known.
Mm.
Like I'll just stay behind. Like you guys go ahead. Or like even like I've done something big, I'll never show up in the front. Like I'll just stay behind. Like I even remember like last year we had something, and like I planned the whole thing, but when it was time to like I just stayed behind, like I was hiding. And then one of my colleagues was like, "What are you doing behind here? Like walk in front. Like you literally did all this,
Yeah.
you know, like just walk, let you be seen."
Yes. And
So
fortune favors the bold,
yeah,
Jamie.
yeah.
But I'm happy that you are able to get out of it because I think you take the most bomb photos. And even the way
Thank
you
you.
panga your things, like you are really what can I say? Like really organized in the way you do your things, in the way social media is. So like you found your purpose now.
Yeah.
But can you imagine how many other people um are going every day to work? You just go in at 8 a.m. and leave at 5. You've just done like a quarter of the day.
Yeah.
And I was listening to a certain podcast. What's the name of this podcast? It's related. And Jules was saying that she's happy wherever she is. What she cannot contend with is the way you're always hiding. I don't know. I need to be on my computer. I don't know this and
Mm.
that. So I can't imagine how many other people are in that space. But I am so happy that you've been able to get your purpose and be bold enough to quit. And by the way, Jamie quit and she sold everything and moved to a different town. Only Jamie can do that because I don't even know where I can start. Yeah, and I was thinking, when you were talking about purpose before, I was at some point I was thinking, do I really serve my purpose in my workplace? It's something I need to think about, but also because I deal with a lot of young people,
Yeah.
I find to a great extent working with them,
Yeah.
you know, and especially my biggest to date, I think my biggest what will I call it? What will I call it? Achievement. I don't know how
Yeah.
to say achievement. I don't know, but there's one kid who came in who had been told by the parent, you need to do, because I'm in capacity building,
Yeah.
like you need to do this course.
Cause yeah.
And he didn't want, he wanted to go and do he wanted to go and do music outside. And he kept saying he doesn't want. But when I would be with him in class, he was very brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And so at some point I noted he's not there. So I looked for him, and then the mother reached out to us, and the mom came and talked to me and told me that this boy had tried committing, suicide.
Oh my God.
Why? Because he's just being a big head. He doesn't want to do 1, 2, 3. So I told the boy to come. let's go have coffee.
Mm-hmm.
In our days, I don't know which teacher would tell you, let's go and have
Yeah,
coffee.
exactly.
But because I thought he was very brilliant. I was like, okay, we went to Java Wayaki where we sat, we had coffee, and the only thing that this boy wanted was to be heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and I kept asking him like, what how do you want us to help you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to do what my parents are telling me, but is that the way to communicate?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not the way to communicate. And so we worked with him a journey. Safe to say that he cleared his course and he's now in Canada doing music.
Exactly. That's good.
So sometimes I'm like, I think those little things are my biggest. I think it's more of purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because working with that boy and many others, there are many others will
I'm
come to you, they
sure.
don't know where will I go after this? What do I do?
Mm. And like even a purpose is
Mm.
could be like having children,
Mm.
and having a family.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, even for me personally, like that was also a purpose. I feel like I wanted that so bad,
Yeah.
like having a family
Mm.
and, kids and all
Mm.
that.
Mm.
But then also God has his plans,
Yeah.
and you just gotta accept maybe like, you have a higher purpose than that.
Yes, of
But like,
course.
but even, like you have a job, even if you hate that job,
Mm.
so you're staying because of the kids,
Mm.
but also you're serving a purpose for your kids,
Yes.
right? To
Mm.
give them a good life,
Mm.
to give them the best education,
Mm.
that's also could be a purpose,
Mm.
um you just have to, or for example, you hate your job and you're just there because it's paying bills and taking care of kids, but you're not giving the kids that life,
Yeah.
because your kids are your purpose, right?
Of course.
Yeah, so you want them to grow, to have, to have good things maybe that you
Mm.
didn't have,
Mm.
or like be able to take a trip at least once a year.
Yeah.
But imagine you're in a job that you go in and out, you're saying, oh, I'm staying because of the kids, but it's not even serving the purpose of the kids.
Mm.
Like they're still, you're not giving them what you want, like you're
Mm.
not happy, not because of the job, but you're not happy because you're not serving the purpose of being a parent. You can't even afford to pay school fees. You're paying in installments and all that.
Yeah. Being the parent that you want to be.
Yeah,
That is so painful. That
yeah.
will be so painful. What?
And there are people like that,
Yeah,
because
many.
and they're afraid to start afresh because it's comfort.
Yeah.
Something else. It's comfort. A lot of people are normally comfortable, but that fear should make you, and that's the thing, that fear should make you change or like quit and start afresh, and I mean, I'm not the first person. There's so
Yeah.
many people who have quit and become farmers.
Mm.
They're farming and they enjoy it and they're loving it and it's serving a purpose and they're feeding their kids. How
Mm.
many people, I know so many people who they've done that, they've
Mm.
become farmers or they've started their own businesses, you know because that fear of like not serving a purpose, like
Yeah.
what am I doing with my
Mm.
life, like
Mm.
that question mostly,
Yeah. What am I
like
doing with
what
my
am I doing?
life?
Even if you have kids, like, okay, am I giving them the best life or are we struggling and like we barely can eat food,
Mm.
but I'm afraid, let me just stay and let's just live this, no, this life of struggling.
I know. That is a bit deep.
And
Yeah, it's a bit deep, and you
yes,
must.
I know many people be like, oh, you don't know how it feels being a parent.
Mhm.
But I mean, I've gone through that. Like,
Mm.
I know, like, my dad lived a really hard life as
Mm.
kids, and he worked really hard to make it.
Yeah.
And when he made it, even for us, I know, like, my dad gave us everything. Like you can't say something and he'll say no.
Mm.
Like, here, take it, sour, do
Mm.
this. And I'm so thankful because, like, even for me, he
Mm.
gave me that opportunity. Like, I was able to do so much because he lets us do things. I mean, I'm able to quit when I want,
Yeah.
and and do all this, like, like I remember even when I was like starting life in Mombasa, I was like, I want a camera, and he was like, he didn't ask like why or whatever.
Mm.
He's like, okay, let me check here the prices, and then he kept sending me, because he was living in Saudi Arabia,
Mm.
So he'll be sending me like pictures, or like when he'll go out, he'll take pictures of the cameras and
Mm.
send me like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this?
Mm.
Like and but because he grew up with nothing, like I remember my grandmother telling me sometimes they will sleep with no food. Like she'll boil water, telling
Mm.
them, wait, the food is being cooked.
Mm.
Just sleep for 5 minutes. When
Yeah.
it's ready, I'll wake you up. It's
Mm.
because she didn't have food
Mm.
in the house.
Mm.
So then they wake up in the morning, they'll drink bread and tea, and
Mm.
that's breakfast.
Mhm.
Where imagine like last night they didn't have. So, I mean, I saw it from my parents. So I think you have to be a go getter.
You have to be a go-getter, and
Yeah, and you
I
can't wait for people to come and save you.
no one is coming to save you. There's someone who says that I can't remember her name. No one is coming to save you. And Jamie, let me tell you, if there's one thing that is very, very painful, is for your kids to ask you for something and you cannot give them. That is usually so painful. Like even me, when I look at the way I grew up, my parents also did not grow up very privileged. But for us, they gave us everything. Like that, I want 1, 2, 3, mom, I want 1, 2, 3. And so when now that I'm a parent, and my kid asks me for something, the thought of telling her or them that I cannot, it would kill me. Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just about being a go-getter and just about like knowing what you want, serving your purpose. I think that is something we need to, in retrospect, just sit and ask yourself, am I serving my purpose? Is this job giving me what I want? And it doesn't have to be money, even um inner peace or joy, you know,
Even growth, like, are you growing in
growth.
that place?
Yeah.
Like, are you growing? Like,
Mm,
is it serving a purpose? Are you growing in that organization?
mm.
Like, are you climbing the ladder, or you just go in, go out every day? Years has passed, and you're just there.
And then you wake up one day and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, what did I do with my life?
Mm-hmm.
I would never want to be in that position. Like, what did I do with my life, dear Lord? No. But I mean, yeah, thank you, Jamie. What's so someone who wakes up today, they have already, like thought, this is not serving me. What would you tell them? From someone who has done it thrice, what would you tell them? And by the way, in this podcast, we're not telling you to quit your job. We're just asking you, do you have a purpose for what you do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not saying to quit your job,
Mm,
but just just question, like, even just think about like your habits and behavior and your
mm,
skills. Like, are you contributing to the workspace or the organization? So like, you don't have to quit. Maybe you decide to take a course online,
mhm,
like every day when you go in early, or like you just ask your boss for like an hour every day. I want to take this course.
mhm.
Maybe it's free, because there's a lot of free online courses as
Yeah.
well, to improve
Mm,
yourself. So
mm,
you can even tell your boss, hey, I feel like I'm stagnant. I want to grow. Can I take 1 hour every day to improve myself? So I'm going to start this course online, you know,
yeah.
and just listen, every day.
Mhm,
Or like, I think, I don't know, I don't want to, I don't want to promote places, but I think, okay, I've done courses with this place for like 2 courses.
mm,
You do class, I think, like once a week,
mm,
and then everything is this forums and then the discussions. It's called European Business University,
mhm,
EBU.
mhm,
It's in Luxembourg,
mm.
but they have a lot of. I've done like 2 courses there, and they have scholarships and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I think you just pay like 3,000 shillings.
Mm,
You can do something like that.
yeah.
Like you get a certificate at the
Mm.
end.
Or even Google.
Google also
Yeah,
has
Google
so many
School.
free um courses, even on digital marketing,
Yeah.
leadership.
Mm.
There's so many, and that's the thing. Like, you just have, like, you ask yourself, is this job serving me a purpose? And if it's not, what should I do? I don't want to quit. Okay, what else can I do?
Yeah.
Like even so you can say, okay, I'm going to start taking courses to improve myself so that when the next promotion comes in, I'm considered.
I am part of it.
Or like, okay, maybe I don't like what I'm doing, but there's another department I like what they're doing. I think something I can do. You can even just say, like, can I try every afternoon, just come
Yeah.
and sit here and see how
Mm.
you guys are doing things?
Mm.
So, you can get even a promotion or something, you can change
Mm.
and help the business grow or help yourself.
Yeah.
So like you go every afternoon, you just say, okay, let me see how guys you're doing things. And maybe you never know, you might find your purpose there. You might like what you do there, and you can change and then, find inner peace from there.
So it's about trying as well, trying little
Yeah.
things here and there.
Yeah. Seeing what, even within your organization, you try. You have to try. If you don't try, because I mean, obviously, like for example, you've seen, like maybe for example, you're in finance and you like something in marketing, like you like marketing.
Yeah.
So you can go there every afternoon, see what they do in marketing, and then and then you never know. You might, if you change, you'll be happy.
Yeah.
And I mean, you love what you do every morning, than just going there and being stagnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like this conversation, I don't know how it would go if we were having it with a Gen Z. For us, I think Gen Z are millennials reincarnated. Just that them, they have a little bit of courage.
A lot of courage,
Yeah,
not little.
a lot of courage.
Courage,
I was seeing
yeah.
something on Twitter, and they were discussing Gen Z, and these guys were saying that these people will wake up and just quit.
Yeah.
You're supposed to have a presentation at 2 p.m. During lunch hour, they'll go for lunch and never
Come
come
back.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I just think that's bad
But yeah,
behavior.
I think I also read somewhere that as much as us millennials hate Gen Zs, it is something that we should learn from them, that they
Yes.
put themselves first.
Mm.
And it's so important to put yourself first, because we were taught like that, you have to be submissive, or you have to be quiet, or, like, oh, you have to be happy with where you are, with what you have, like those things that we're told. But Gen Z, if it's not making them happy, it's not serving them, it's not helping them in any way, they leave.
Yeah,
They
they
go.
go.
They don't stay. You're not being paid, and then and you're like interns, they just come, and then find other interns who are really proactive.
Yeah.
They want to try, like the Gen Z interns are, I think it's a 50-50. Yes, there's one who would like just sit, but you'll find other Gen Z's intern, they just don't, because like internship, mostly you just bring tea
Yeah.
and you do what here
You
and there.
just chill.
They just chill, but you find others who are like, hey, how can I help you?
Yeah.
Do you need like research done? Because they're also good in like doing research.
A lot.
Yeah,
They're
so
good
you'll
on
be like,
tech.
because for me, I've seen interns like that, where I used to work to be like, okay, I've done this course, so like, what do you want me to do? Like, I don't want to just sit here and just do nothing, or just do like paperwork or whatever, or filing,
Yeah.
like, I want to do something more meaningful. Like, I've given people to do research and do documents and all that, and and I've gotten really good work.
I know, yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
believing in them.
yeah.
And also believing in yourself.
Mhm.
Just I mean, just that finding your purpose. I
Purpose,
think it's
yeah.
a very big deal.
It is. I
It
think
is
it's
a
something
big
that we're
deal.
not told.
Yeah.
And something like that, like, oh, your parents like, oh, you have to be a doctor, and
Yeah. You have to be a doctor, you have to work for government,
yeah,
and hakuna kazi mzuri kama hiyo.
yo,
And
yeah,
then ukitoka pension, what.
yeah. You see, like in America, like they have this thing called gap year. Some parents advise it. They let their children take a gap year after high school before going to university. They tell them, do whatever you want to do, like go travel, whatever. Find the purpose that you want, and then you can go to university. And I think it's something that because even for me, I don't know, like I didn't. I mean, I had a purpose. My purpose was to do at that time, to do ticketing, and like do the whole, go to college, get certificates, get a job, get married, have kids. I mean, of course, God has plans.
Yeah.
It didn't happen, but I think like He gave me a higher purpose.
Yeah.
In finding myself and making sure I'm happy. Like if something's not making me happy,
Tell it adios.
Just let it go.
Adios.
Yeah.
Yeah, because even the way you in the WhatsApp groups we are in together, the things that I see you posting, like it would take me 5 days to come up with such a thing. So, so I think you're in your element,
Yeah.
yeah. And I mean we can. I mean I wish you well, Jamie. I mean at 40, you woke up one day and decided this is it. I'm going to follow what my heart wants. It's a
Yeah.
big deal. And
It
I mean,
is.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And I'm wishing you like everything that your heart deserves,
Thank you.
everything that you have ever dreamt of, everything that you desire. Because I think whatever you do it with a lot of um excellence. Yeah. I have seen you doing it, I've been there. So I'm wishing you the very, very best.
Thank
And
you. I
that imposter
appreciate.
syndrome.
We're gonna get rid of
Yeah,
it.
I read somewhere someone saying, "Okay, it's okay. Tell the fear to come, but you tell the fear, I am gonna take the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
you
It's
can come
true.
along, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
take the driver's seat."
Because
So, if you are there and you are feeling some type of way, before you make those bold decisions, think, take a minute and think, am I serving my purpose? And if I am not, what is it that I need to do? Yeah. What is it that I need to do? Yeah, thank you very much, Jamila. So what Jamila is, I'll give her a chance to tell us where can we find her? What are you doing now?
so you can find me on Instagram. On my personal page is Jammy, I think it's underscore Eljabry. And then so I do social media consultancy and food and product photography. You can find me also on Instagram and LinkedIn on Malkia Creative Media. And you can email me at jamila at malkiacreativemedia.co.ke.
And also positioning, visual positioning. I think she does a very good job on visual positioning. It's not something we have talked about, but I think she does a very good job. So thank you, Jamila. And we see you guys next week. And as always, this is Corporate Chronicles. You can find us on LinkedIn, TikTok, Spotify, and anywhere else that you get your podcasts. Thank you very much. We see you next time. Bye bye.